So can we find our faith again after spiritual abuse? If we can, how and why? Why should we even bother? There are a lot of kinds of emotional and mental abuse that I speak about on this channel, but spiritual abuse is not something that you hear about as often. So I really wanted to tackle this very touchy subject for today's video. Please understand going into this that I'm not like a church hater or a church basher or anything like that, but I am speaking to people that have had significant damage and trauma done to them in the name of God, in the name of church, in the name of the Bible. So if you find yourself there where you have your faith fractured or you've walked away, maybe you've walked away from God completely, then I just want to encourage you to stay till the end and to give you some different perspectives. Because if you do want to have faith again, then that experience should not be robbed from you. It should not be based off of things that toxic people have done to you in the name of that faith. If you've walked away from faith because you have beef with God personally and you don't like the way he does things, then that's one thing. That's totally different. I'm talking to the people that have walked away from faith because of what damaging things that people have done in the name of that faith. The reason why I'm sticking within the realm of like God, church, and the Bible is because that is what I have a background in. And I know there are a lot of other faiths and there's a lot of other places of worship that this can definitely happen in. I just do not have experience or knowledge of that, so I'm not going to speak to something that I don't know about. Spiritual abuse might be a term that you've not really heard before, so you might even be like, well, what is spiritual abuse? What does that even look like? There's a lot of different ways that it can look and a lot of experiences that could be had and at different angles by different people. But there is basically one underlying theme, which is whenever somebody takes something directly correlated to your faith, to God, and they use it instead of bringing healing, hope, peace, and joy to a person, they use it to bring death, destruction, damage, and pain. And then that person a lot of times ends up correlating God and their faith with those negative experiences. I personally have talked to plenty of people that have walked away from their faith, God, the church, or whatever, in the name of what has been done to them that was very damaging. This type of abuse can come from different people within that faith. It can come from leadership at a certain church or temple. It can come from friends. It can come from groups that meet together regularly. It could even come from a spouse or like a parent-child relationship within that faith, specifically using the items of that faith as weapons against that person. Of course, there's going to be cases where it's not actually spiritual abuse and a person says, oh, I've been spiritually abused, but it was really just a disagreement, or the church did something or the faith did something that they didn't agree with and they didn't like. And I'm not talking about those kind of instances of just disagreeing and not being on the same page. It's more about whenever a person has actually trusted another human being and they've really formed a bond with them, and then that human being abuses their position of power and influence, and in the name of God or that faith or the Bible or whatever, they use those elements as tools to really destroy a person. Is it possible that those people, though they claim God's name, did not accurately represent him? The reason why I'm asking this is because a lot of times in our minds, we kind of join the two together. If that's what God looks like, I don't want any part of it. If that's what that religion is like, I'm out. So we kind of put them together in the same boat, whenever in fact, they're just people. And people, all of us, we fail, we mess up, we screw up. People hurt each other no matter where they are, no matter what faith they are. We are human beings and we are frail and we are faulty. So I'm asking the question not to have somebody go back to a damaging, destructive church. I'm asking in order to bring about a different way of viewing God, that he does not have to be seen through the lens of those people. If you are in a situation where you actually do want to have that faith restored and you have walked away, I just want to challenge you with this one thing, which is to begin to separate in your mind the two. That God should not be directly tied to those negative experiences. That was people. They shouldn't get to define your view of God or your decision of faith. Those experiences are still going to have a place in your life. They're still a part of your story, but they don't have to define your faith journey and decide that that's where it ended. If you choose to have a different path. It's not like they magically evaporate. Oh, okay, I've separated the two and now I'm good. I can see God clearly or whatever. It's not like it's like that. It's more like perhaps that was not an accurate representation of God's heart and who he is. And so I can still have a relationship with God. And going back to a place of worship, it may take time, and that's okay. There are a lot of wonderful places to worship out there, and there's a lot of wonderful churches and all of that, but they are all full of broken people. So if you're on a journey where you're wanting to restore your faith again, and then you can begin that separation, then it would be the why. Why should I even bother? Why should I even try? And the why would be to not allow that to rob you of something that you desire, which is good. If you desire to have faith again, if we're allowing that to inhibit us from something that we want, then we're giving that power. We're giving those people power, those negative experiences power to determine our course. So I'll challenge you to take back your power, that you should get to decide for yourself what your faith journey looks like, that it should not be based off of negative experiences by other people. It can be part of your journey, but it should not get to determine your course and your identity in your faith and in your relationship with God. I know this was a heavier topic today. I really appreciate you guys sticking it out to the end. I'm Jamie Lynette with Jamie Lynette Coaching. Let's move forward together on our own faith journey, not allowing damaging experiences to determine it.